Stephanie and Rick from Back to the Passport, and since Valentine's Day is right around the corner, we wanted to share our top 10 tips for traveling as a couple that we have learned over about a decade together. 2024 will actually be our 10-year anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we met in 2014.
How about that? Yeah.
And we started traveling together right away. So here are some things that we've picked up along the way.
So, number 10, teamwork makes the dream work. So, own your role. Like, each person, you kind of gravitate towards each person has their own thing that they kind of do in the whole trip planning process. Mm-hmm. So, like, you put our mail on hold. Yep. I never have to worry about that. Research nearby restaurants and things like that. I take care of more like transportation, like airfare, getting around, organizing boarding for our dog. And we just kind of, it's not something that we like define for each other, just kind of like the roles that we just naturally fell into. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say we're both pretty good at splitting our responsibilities and then also just making sure that we're splitting our packing pretty evenly.
Right. And yeah, I know we have some friends that are the same way. That like he books travel, that's it, and she books experiences. So like if it works, it works.
Yeah. Yeah, just figure out what your own role is in it, but be sure to carry your own weight too. All right, coming in at number 9, we have be open and accommodate the other's needs. So for us, like, are there any specific travel destinations we both want to go see? Luckily, a lot of our places have been on both of our to-do lists or bucket lists, so that comes in handy. But also think about, like, how active do you want to be? How spontaneous do you want to be? Are there any must-dos that when you get there, if you don't do those, you're gonna leave that trip a little upset? Any specific restaurants or wine bars you want to visit? This one we've learned traveling together as well as traveling with friends. I have a friend who likes to she is rise and shine first thing in the morning, where if we sleep until 9 o'clock, I'm okay, because then I want to stay out later. Just make sure that you're accommodating your partner's needs and being open to discussing it. Sometimes you're going to have to compromise, and the trip can't only be what one person wants from it. Also, make sure that you talk about any budget expectations and make sure that you add the itinerary together. Basically, the bottom line is communication is so important when it comes to traveling together as a couple.
Very true. All right, number 8 is book experiences. So I can speak to growing up in a family where we'll sit around and be like, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Well, what do you want to do? Try to avoid that on your trips. So plan things out ahead of time. Like, for example, we usually always either book a food tour or a ghost tour in the places that we go, or both, depending where we're going and what we're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like have things to do, have scheduled things that also have free time, but you don't want to have just all free time. You want a good balance.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely enjoy our food tours. I will take credit. The ghost tours are Rick's idea of accommodating me.
There you go. So you bring it full circle.
All right, number 7 is make sure you take photos of your travels together. So don't be afraid to ask other people to help you out and take a photo so that not all of your photos are just selfies or ussies, if we're going to borrow a phrase from Ted Lasso. But on the flip side, try to be present in the moment and just take mental photos of your adventures together. I definitely still have a long way to go in learning this lesson, but it's definitely important that you just enjoy being there together instead of trying to document every single moment. But again, never be afraid to ask somebody else to take a photo of you because they tend to turn out a little bit better than the selfies do.
All right, at number 6, we've got distance makes the heart grow fonder. And what we're talking about with this is you don't have to spend every waking moment together.
No.
So, for example, when we go to like Sandals or like tropical vacations, I'm more of a lay in the shade kind of person. You like to be in the sun, maybe. I
want my skin burnt and crispy.
She'll get her skin burning under the sun. I might go back to the room or go to the bar. Like, we're not with each other 24/7.
But on the flip side of that, so coming in at number 5, we have make time for romance. So when we are traveling together, Rick already talked about experiences, so that way we have a shared activity to look forward to. One of our favorite ways to make time for romance is booking couples massages when we travel, especially like at Sandals or on cruises. It's just a really fun way to spend time together and relax and reconnect, especially if you book a massage like the one we had on our honeymoon, where we did a lighted candle ceremony and the therapists were like, okay, so say a positive affirmation or what you love about the other person. And we both sat there like deers in headlights. Like,
they're not prepared for this.
I love you. Like, I don't know. But it really did open our eyes to just making sure that we do make time for romance on our trips. We'll make sure to book like a really nice dinner so we can go out and wine and dine each other, or just doing other romantic activities that are free of charge, like our recent trip to Miami. Just taking a moment to walk hand in hand along the beach. It's just a really nice way to reconnect, and you're not just having to go, go, go all the time. It's okay to step back and just enjoy being there together.
Coming in at number 4, we got be prepared. So this should be kind of obvious, for any trip, but yeah, be prepared for certain things. More of what we're talking about here is know what sets you off, know what sets your partner off, know each other's travel quirks. So know the warning signs that they're unhappy, don't ignore problems, support your partner, make sure they're comfortable with everything. One good example of this is one of my travel quirks. If usually we do a whole day, we'll get up early at 9 or whatever, and spend the whole day doing stuff. I like to have an hour and a half or so in the afternoon to just decompress, maybe take a quick nap, go back to the room before we go back out for the night. So that's just one of mine.
Yeah, and like for me, just making sure that I'm prepared for our trip. Like I will go crazy knowing that I'm going to be sitting on a plane for 6 hours. So like I'll get up extra early to be able to work out, shower, chug a bunch of water, so that way I'm really setting myself up for success during the day and being able to tackle on any of the changes to our travel plans that might come our way without getting too anxious about it. But I also know like Rick's warning signs when he's getting tired or if he's dehydrated, just making sure that we're taking care of each other so that we're both having the best time possible.
Yeah, that's only something we've learned over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And again, that goes back to communication. Like you have to not be afraid to tell the other person what you need from them at that moment.
Sure.
All right. Number 3, kind of similar, but stay positive. Traveling can be chaotic. It often brings out negativity or can invoke bad moods really quickly. Do your best to embrace the chaos, or at least each other, and try to stay positive. It's not your partner's fault the flight's delayed, or TSA was super slow, or a bag got lost. It's all going to be okay. Stay calm, stay positive, and remember that you have a partner to lean on if things get really stressful. Just think about how you're going to be laughing about this later when you tell your friends and family about it. Like coming home from our honeymoon, we flew from Jamaica back to Texas, and then we were supposed to catch a flight to Denver. When we were leaving Jamaica, they told us already that our flight from Texas was not happening. And then when we got to Texas, it was a really big pain in the ass trying to find a hotel. And our Uber or Lyft driver dropped us off at the wrong hotel, which could have been our own fault, like truly. But they were like a block away. It was pouring rain. We just got done having our nice romantic honeymoon. We were both miserable. We were both very upset. But now, like looking back on that, we can have a great laugh.
It's a funny story.
It's a funny story. And just embrace it. Stuff like that's going to happen. You may not be laughing in the moment. Have a glass of wine or something. And then eventually you will laugh about it later together.
All right, coming in at number 2, take notes. So this is something that I'm a big fan of. So basically after a trip, we also do this with other things in our lives, like the parties that we throw and stuff. But it's like afterwards, do kind of like a debrief. Like what worked, what didn't work, what can we do differently next time? So like things to watch out for, how much things cost, extra expenses, like anything like that you might not keep front of mind. So like I've got my notes on my phone, like Google Docs, where I keep track of stuff like this. So it's like next time we go on a cruise, I look back and be like, okay, well, what notes did I make from the last cruise? Like, bring a hat or bring earplugs or like anything, certain things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've learned over the years, like Rick said, like with cruises, we always know now that we fly in the day before the cruise is set to depart, even if it's supposed to depart at like 5 o'clock. We're not taking any chances with that. Even when we do our sandals trip, we've started looking at like, is it easier if we just book our own flights instead of booking through them? As well as travel insurance. We've had a few scary stories now where thank God we did buy travel insurance because it has come in handy and helped us recoup some of our losses. So just lessons like that that we can remember and apply for future travel.
For sure.
All right, coming in at number 1, we have prepare for the worst. We learned this lesson the hard way last summer when we got stranded in New Jersey. No offense to New Jerseyans, but not my favorite state to get stranded in, especially after a lovely week in Italy and Greece. But it kind of ties into number 3 on this list. Like, you have to prepare for the worst and anticipate that things aren't going to go to plan and try to stay as positive as possible. Just remember that you guys are in this together. And again, it all just comes back to communication. It's okay to be frustrated by what's happening, but don't take your frustrations out on your partner and just communicate whether you need time alone, you just need to go take a nap, whatever it is you need, talk to your partner. And then as the partner, support your person in what they need.
Yeah, because in the moment, you can be frustrated and angry and either say something or do something that you don't mean.
Yep.
So, yeah, just keep in mind that everything's going to be all right.
It's temporary.
Yeah.
You will get through this. And again, you'll have a funny story to tell people.
Exactly.
Maybe a week later.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps up our top 10 tips for traveling as a couple. Please feel free to leave your travel tips in the comments below. Feel free as well to check out our blog at backtothepassport.com for more travel content. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Ciao.
Ciao.
We got dropped off at...
Let me make sure that doesn't happen again.